Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based on, the aftermath of the strikes that happened between Israel, the U.S., and Iran. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this paragraph, get some precepts, and Lord's will you're edified. This is a region on fire. Aftermath of strikes across the Middle East. It says Israel and the United States have launched what U.S. President Donald Trump said were massive and ongoing strikes on Iran, targeting officials and locations across the country. Iranian authorities say a girls' school was hit in the assault, killing dozens of children and wounding scores more. The Islamic Republic retaliated, striking U.S. military bases and American interests across the Middle East. Yeah, so that's war right there. Israel and the U.S. fired the first shots, and Iran retaliated. And this is what America does. Just go around the world dropping bombs on people. It's 2 Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And when you look up the definition of perilous, it means full of danger or risk. It means dangerous, hazardous, unsafe. And those are the times that we're in, some dangerous, hazardous, and unsafe times for many reasons. But one of the main reasons is war. Race war, civil war, and ultimately nuclear war, nuclear world war. And this is something that the apostles and elders of Great Millstone have been talking about for decades and warning people about. And now we're in that time, and you're seeing it manifest. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Jumping down to verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. And clearly there is no peace. Especially in the quote-unquote Middle East. There is no peace out there. There's constantly some type of conflict popping off out there. And this whole Israel and U.S. and Iran incident is just yet another example. And this is not over, because this is what the Lord has set into motion. So best believe something else is going to happen as well. And a lot more people are going to die. Those schoolgirls who got caught up. I believe it was like over 80 schoolgirls who died, little girls, when one of the strikes hit that school. And ultimately, of course, that was the judgment of the Lord. But because majority of people out here are carnal and they're very emotional and they don't understand things or see things from a spiritual perspective, a lot of people are very, very upset about that. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no power with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So ultimately, the Heavenly Father is the one who killed those little girls. The Heavenly Father is the one who guided those missiles where He wanted them to hit. And one of those missiles did hit that school and kill those girls. And as hard as that may be for certain people to wrap their head around, the Lord is ultimately the one who killed them. And the Lord is the one who wounded everybody else who got hurt when these missile strikes took place from both sides. First Samuel 2:6. The Lord Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. And that's what happened. The Lord killed those people. Anybody who died between the strikes from Israel and the U.S. upon Iran, and if anybody died from the Iran missile strikes in retaliation, the Lord killed those people because the Heavenly Father is in the midst of all judgments that take place, like it says in Zephaniah 3:5. Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? And the answer is nobody has perished being innocent. And even though those were little girls who died, little schoolgirls who died, they were not innocent in the eyes of the Lord. Because if they were, the Lord would not have allowed that to happen to them. And I understand that a lot of people are carnal and they can't wrap their head around it because they're like, oh, those were just little girls going to school. Like they didn't do anything wrong. But clearly, in the eyes of the Lord, they deserved that judgment. And there is no getting around that. Just because they were little girls doesn't make them innocent. Verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. And that's basically what's taking place all day, every day, all over the world. Wicked people, wicked men, wicked women, wicked children are reaping what they've sown in the form of the judgments of the Lord being brought upon them. They're being afflicted, they're being wounded, and they're being killed by the Lord via his judgments. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And for those little girls and anybody else who died, it was just their time, according to the will of the Lord. When you take your emotions out of a situation and you look at it from a spiritual point of view, you understand. Like, obviously, yes, it's, heartbreaking for the families of those little girls. But those of us of the hopeful elect, we understand why that happened. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't some just random thing. Like, no, the Lord set that whole thing up for it to play out exactly the way that it did. And there's a lot more people that are going to get wounded and killed in these wars that are going to pop off. Isaiah 48:22. There is no peace, saith the Lord Yahweh, unto the wicked. And that's right. So these wicked people, regardless of where in the world they dwell, they will not experience peace, specifically in these last days that we are clearly living in. Psalm 7:11. Yahweh judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. And that's why these type of incidents take place. Also because it's prophesied for there to be wars. But, these missile strikes, people getting wounded and killed, that's the anger of the Lord being brought upon wicked people. And yes, children can be wicked. Children are not exempt just because of their age. And there is going to be a lot more deaths, like I said. James 4:9. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. And this is what people have been experiencing a lot these past couple of years. A lot of mourning and a lot of weeping because of the wars, because of the famines in certain places, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the wildfires, the shootings, the stabbings, all of these different events that have caused destruction, that have wounded people, that have killed people. And the hits just keep coming. The Lord just keeps dishing out these judgments, and there is no escape. And one thing that the West, in particular America, doesn't seem to understand, and I mean the US, doesn't understand, is that the pain and suffering that they've afflicted upon these other nations, they themselves are going to experience. All the people, in particular the Edomites in this country, that are cheering on what happened out there in Iran, they don't understand that eventually that sort of thing is going to start hitting home. Yeah, Iran launched some strikes upon some military bases, but I don't think anybody got killed. So for the American people at home who have loved ones out there, they haven't really felt that yet. That pain of losing someone. But they're going to. And these people are going to lose a lot more than what the people whom they have so much hatred towards have lost. And that's what they don't understand. Especially, like I said, these Edomites, these so-called self-proclaimed white people who will cheer on when Trump decides to go and bomb some country and kill a bunch of people that didn't have anything to do with anything. Eventually, that's going to find its way here. And these Edomites in particular, they're going to feel it. And they deserve every bit of that pain and suffering that they're going to experience. Because it was all fun and games when they were doing it to somebody else. And the Lord is going to do it to them. America, Slovakia. America, Israel, and these Edomites in general are not going to survive what the Lord has in store for them in these last days. World War III will be a nuclear war, and it will be the war to end all wars. And at the end of World War III, America and anybody who still resides here when those missiles hit is going to be wiped out. In the land of Israel, those heathens that are in our land are going to be wiped out. And the Edomites that remain on the earth are going to be rounded up by the Israelites, by the elect. They're going to be rounded up and they're going to get put into slavery for 1,000 years of the most hardcore, brutal slavery that any nation has ever experienced. And then after that 1,000 years is up, by the hand of his people Israel, the Lord is going to round up all of these Edomites, once again, round them up, and wipe them clean off the face of the earth. And you will never see another so-called white person on this earth again. They're all going to be erased. And good riddance to them, because the world is seeing these Edomites for who they are. There's nothing good about them. There's nothing righteous about them. There's nothing holy about them. They don't give a damn about anybody else. They only care about what they want, and they don't care who they have to murder in order to get it. So, the world needs to be rid of these devils. And the Lord, he's going to get rid of them. But he has a few more things that he has to use them for. See, those of us of the hopeful elect, however, we're very excited because we're seeing prophecies just pop off the page. And it's a very beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful time that we are currently living in. So, hey, Barak the Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know? And Thawadi Yahweh Shem Yahushai for allowing those of us of the hopeful elect to be alive in these times. And Thawadi Yahweh Shem Yahushai for blessing us with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures, so that we can give the proper reactions to everything that's taking place, understanding why it's taking place and what all of it means. And for all these wicked people, hey, the affliction, the sore strokes, the many great miseries, it's not over yet. Y'all still have plenty left to endure, because you have angered the Lord. You have provoked the Lord unto wrath, and this is your reward for that. Like it says in Psalm 79:6, pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. So, incidents like this, incidents like war popping off, missiles flying around, people getting killed, buildings getting destroyed, and all of that destruction and chaos and death and mourning and weeping, that's merely the wrath of the Lord. And the wrath of the Lord is going to continue to be brought upon these wicked people, regardless of where in the world they dwell, regardless of who they are, who they think they are, how old or young they are. You've provoked the Lord unto wrath, and this is his response. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash, the Wadi Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, for putting his spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to other brothers who are still fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. And shalom to other sincere believers. I hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up. And Adawan Ratazah, which means Lord's will. Until next time, shalom.